All right, y'all. As you know, recently, whack-ass wrestling entertainment has now been deemed an essential business. I don't know why, because watching this nonsense is not going to cure anybody from the virus. I don't care how many smiles, Vince McMahon thinks it's going to bring to people's faces. But as we've learned recently, which I'm about to show you from a court hearing in Orange County, Florida.
WWE, which is taping their shows here in town, announced last night they had one of their, I believe it was an onstage performer, test positive. Are you aware, are they deemed an essential business, or did they get a special exemption to stay open, or are you aware of how they're able to?
I think initially there was a review that was done, and they were not initially deemed an essential business. With some conversation with the governor's office regarding the governor's order, they were deemed an essential business. And so therefore they were allowed to remain open. In terms of the specifics associated with the wrestler or personality who tested positive, I don't know any of the details of that, obviously, because of HIPAA laws, etc. I don't know that, but that's like a little family, a small family of professional athletes that wrestle, and if one of my family members tested positive in my house, that would be concerning to me. We would have to make some provisions in my house to make sure that the rest of us not get infected. And so I would assume that from a business perspective, the WWE is doing that type of analysis of its own family.
I respectfully disagree. If a confirmed on-air personality has tested positive, I don't care if he has recovered. He wouldn't have not gotten sick in the first place had all this shit been canceled from Jump Street, WrestleMania, etc., etc. Now, this hearing comes possibly in light of Vince McMahon's darling wife, who basically just gave, basically spent $18.5 million in Tampa and Orlando, Florida. And that's when the reports broke of Vince McMahon deciding to resume live tapings with maybe some kind of audience. Now, as you know, Linda McMahon previously worked as the head of small business administration in the Trump administration, but she left that position to run something called the Super PAC. Now, there's no way to definitely say that the Florida governor changed the criteria of what constitutes as essential service, because Linda McMahon promised $18.5 million to Tampa and Orlando, but the timeline seems to fall in place. And the thing is, come on, in politics, a politician is not interested in taking care of anybody except those who fund their campaign. And $18.5 million is a nice chunk of change. So the old saying goes, when you grease the right palms, it's almost guaranteed things are going to get done. And to me, basically, this is just money, greed, and power in the face. Basically, money, greed, and power that wins over. It's basically people with money, power, and who are greedy, even in the face of a plague, in the face of death, still want more power, and still want more money. And the McMahons are basically just a cold-blooded family or cold-blooded people that care nothing about the safety or health and well-being of wrestlers and even production staff that they employ. Doesn't matter if someone gets sick. Yeah, he may recover, but he wouldn't have got sick in the first place, as I've said before. It's just, and this is his wife, him and his. It's like, Linda is just like Vince, two peas in a pod. Rich, powerful, and don't give a shit about nothing but more money and more power. But that's okay. Like I said, somebody told me we're living in the last days. So if something happens, Vince, Linda, your billions aren't going to mean shit to nobody and to no one. The last thing you'll face before your judgment is God, and that's when the hammer will be lowered. And trust me, for everything that's going on, for you to continue to do this, WWE will burn. Which leads me now to this next piece of footage, which is a coronavirus commercial from WWE Superstars. Of course, it was probably Vince's idea. Comes from Vince himself, which is so low and so pathetic. It isn't funny.
Have questions about the coronavirus?
I'm here to share some simple steps you can take to help protect yourself and others.
Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands often with soap and water for 20 plus seconds.
Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue.
Clean and disinfect surfaces and objects. Wash hands after touching commonly used items.
Together, we can help slow the spread.
Okay, I've never seen such horseshit in my life. I mean, the commercial is a good message, yes, but coming from a company who does the opposite. Hey Vince, why not have you and the wrestlers lead by example? Close contact. You're still wrestling you're still making them wrestle in the ring. They're still sweating on each other. Those ring mats are full of bacteria. This commercial coming from you is pointless, has no merit, has no meaning. But that's whack-ass wrestling entertainment for you. They preach one thing, but do the opposite. Leave your thoughts and comments. Below. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace. And to the wrestlers, God help you.